Welcome back. Please take your seats. We're about to continue the show. We're kicking off the second half with startups, so let's get ready to rumble. Mobile solutions are the future. In regular Dutch pragmatism, our next picture will bring it in touch with reality. It's all about connection. Give it up for Onno van der Poel about TikTok.
Data will become more valuable than oil. And these smartphones are the new oil wells. But companies are struggling how to connect to these wells of information. Why? Because current technologies are just not good enough. You have to have the right phone, be on the right platform, activate NFC, turn on Bluetooth, adjust your camera to scan a code. Which one of them did you use lately? You see, it is a hassle. And we wanted it to be as easy as the click of a button. So this is how it's done. It is that easy. But second, our product is secure, because you have to be there to make the connection. And what we do, we match the tag ID with the user ID to make it work. And third, our product is personal. You integrate our software into your app so you can direct your customers directly to their personal page. And what's really important in these times of privacy, your user is in control because they initiate the connection. So we connect your business to every smartphone. And that is why your customers will use it and you can collect valuable data. So where are we now? We are now busy signing with 5 paying pilots. One of them is Counter, a point of sales company. They're going to give digital loyalty points directly to a phone, and in return, they collect offline shopping data. And for them, that is really valuable information. And with a huge utility company, we're going to pilot presenting performance data and the latest safety protocol on the screen of a mechanic after touching the tag at a facility. And in return, they will collect proof of presence and time spent. And with that information, this company can increase efficiency, decrease risk, and decrease fines. And for them, that is really, really valuable information. We're going to start with 1 station, but we can expand this to over 1,000 stations with this customer. These are just 2 examples of what we do. But our sales funnel is filling up with all big names. Like KPN, Mercedes, Microsoft, Ahold, ABN, the ING. And for us, that looks really promising. We are now developing our product to be integratable as easy as a sticker. And with that launching product, we're going to address the markets retail, leisure and utility. And with our next generation product, we will add a second layer of security so we can also address high security markets like automotive and payments. Our product is ideal as software as a service. We are going to charge a fee per tag per month. And with our current sales funnel, we prognose a revenue of 0.5 million coming year. And we can scale that up to over 29 million euros in 2022. And the good news is, the opportunity is there. Companies are going to spend $25 billion on connectivity alone next year. And we have the team to do this. We've got the hardware expertise and the software expertise to make the product. And myself and our CEO have years of experience in loyalty, connectivity and management, so that we can build this company and we can scale this company. We've already raised 300,000 euros. And this we invested in prototyping, getting pilots, and making our marketing and sales materials. We now ask for an investment of 1.4 million euros, which we will invest in building a production line, expanding our sales staff, and increasing our marketing and sales activities. And for the investors here, the really good news is this has a break-even point of just 2 years. So, if you want to see the magic of the connection happen yourself, come to our booth and get in touch with us. Thank you.
Just tick the tag. That sounds easy enough. Thanks a lot, Onno. And as our first picture leaves the stage, we're getting ready to move back into the realm of corporates.
Traditionally, solvent-based paints consisted mainly of fossil-based raw materials, so when painting your wall was actually covered with oil. Years ago, the paint industry made a major step forward on sustainability through the introduction of waterborne paint, using water as a solvent. However, also waterborne paints today still largely contain fossil-based raw materials, so you're still covering your walls with oil. DSM played a leading role in the transition to waterborne paints, and now we're embarking on a new revolution.
A revolution? Sounds like disruption is happening all around. You've guessed it, the next pitch is going to be all about paint. Here she comes, Tineke Voort, about to cover it.
We are proud DSM has had a leading role in a transition from solvent-borne to waterborne paints and coatings. Now, with Discovery, DSM is actually starting a new revolution. We have invested in a new technology to create even more sustainable paints. We replace fossil-based materials with plant-based materials in paints, enabling our customers to introduce more sustainable paints, paints that are plant-based, that reduce the carbon footprint and meet the high performance requirements of customers today and tomorrow. And this is actually what people want. In any market, sustainability is becoming an increasingly important decision criterion in the buying behavior of customers. Global research even indicates that people are willing to pay more for sustainable products. We have validated this growing interest for more sustainable products also in the paint and coating industry. And instead of talking only to our customers, the paint manufacturers, we have discussed the benefits of more sustainable paints throughout the whole value chain, creating awareness and connecting the different parties that actually showed interest. As such, we are actually starting to create a market. With Discovery, we connect to this market development. It is based on 3 pillars. First, performance. Being a green acrylic resin, it outperforms other green resins. As such, it creates a true alternative towards conventional solvent-borne and waterborne paints and coatings. Health. We greatly reduce the levels of volatile organic compounds and other toxins, thereby creating a safer and healthier environment. And last but not least, sustainability. By using renewable materials, we reduce our carbon footprint. Because using 1 kilogram of Discovery resin reduces the carbon footprint with 1.3 kilograms compared to traditional resins, which over the total market would have an impact of 6,000 kilograms. And this basically would be the same as if each and every one of you in this room would take a car and drive around the world for 1,500 times. And that is what Discovery saves. Discovery is already the resin of choice for a number of partners, one of them being PPG, a leading paint manufacturer in the industry. They used it to develop a bio-based wall paint with an air purification effect. It's called Sigma Air Pure. And with the launch of this product, they actually are the first in the industry to introduce a more sustainable, high-performance paint. Currently, there are already a number of alternative green paint solutions available in the market. However, they do not meet high performance requirements, and some of them are even just a word on the can. With Discovery, we offer our customers an opportunity to improve their products and to grow their business. And as such, we clearly show that as DSM, we are leading this new transition towards more sustainable paints. With the introduction of Discovery, we are taking a phased approach. Our current focus is on the decorative and industrial markets in Europe. However, we see a growing interest for more sustainable paints in China. And therefore, we have already started to introduce Discovery in APAC as well, aiming to fully launch in the second quarter of next year. So, like said, currently, we are the one and only green acrylic resin producer in the market. This offers a solid first-mover advantage to our customers, making the introduction of sustainable paints not just a social responsibility, but also a clear and solid business opportunity. So the time is now. We need to act now. We truly believe that after the transition from solvent-borne to water-borne paints and coatings, the transition towards bio-based paints and coatings has just started, and that we can actually support our customers in creating that market. So let's start painting sustainable and discover Discovery. Thank you.
Sustainable business, that's what we love to see. Thanks a lot, Tineke. For our next team, we stay within the same corporate, but we'll change it up a bit on you. Get ready! In any industry, it's crucial to optimize processes. Our next team is all about sharing their experience on many levels. So, welcome back to Bout de Cray about DSM Matrix.
Thank you. No, I didn't change company during the break. I'm not going to pitch for DSM, but this project has a slightly different approach from the last pitch. So I would like to invite to join me on stage Ruud Donners and Tom Ploeger from DSM. Give them a warm welcome. Thanks for joining me. So, guys, this is a bit weird. We're doing a corporate innovation pitch, but we're not pitching. And before we explain in detail why we get to sit down and everybody else gets to stand up, why don't we level the playing field? And Tom, I give you the opportunity to give your 1 minute pitch. I think we've had you do it enough times, so you should be ready, right?
Really?
You know, I didn't warn you, but just go ahead, do your 1 minute pitch.
Okay, bear with me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You are all now officially process engineers. It's your job to improve the factory, to make as much product as possible at the best quality. And to do this, of course, you need to know exactly what is going on inside your factory. And the good news is, you can measure anything. But here's also where we have a problem. Because you're getting data from all over the place, in all kinds of different formats, and you're spending a quarter of your time on organizing this mess. This is what we've seen in DSM as well. And this is also what made us devise a solution. We call it Matrix. Matrix is a data management system that automatically processes all this data coming in, taking the time it needs from hours to seconds. It stores data in a central location so you can easily share it, and it has statistical tools for evaluation and reporting. So with Matrix, we went from a state where we had to work for our data to having data actually work for us. Thanks.
Well, I'm confused. That sounds pretty awesome. So why are we sitting on a couch and not just pitching it? Ruud, maybe you want to explain?
Yeah. So we did this program where we enrolled in quite a new thing for DSM, and it's really all about validation. And during the 3-month program, we found out that for DSM this is not such a very viable business case. So instead of pitching here and saying, wow, this is great and we are going to become a software company, watch out all you Microsofts of the world, here comes DSM, we said, well, let's take this moment in time and to share also our learnings with you. So that's why we are sitting down.
Wow. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. But that raises a lot of questions, what actually happened. So maybe it's a good idea that you walk us through sort of the process that you went through over the past few months, Tom?
Yeah, sure. So we came from about 10 years ago, we started developing this tool for internal use. And well, the point where we ended up in early this year was, okay, it got us thinking that if it's so successful within our own company, there might also be other opportunities outside of DSM where we could have benefits for others as well. So we had a consulting firm do a lot of interviews for us, in a specific industry, the bioethanol field, where we think, okay, it's close to DSM in terms of the processes they use. Got some feedback from that, and we entered the accelerator program specifically to find out more about, okay, what could potential customers be, what is the business case for this, and what is exactly our added value and our unique selling points of our software. And we found out that this is actually in the customization that we do for each installment, and the domain knowledge that we have as DSM on the process level.
All right. So you actually spend quite some effort when going to new clients. So how does that then translate into the business case? How does that translate into the numbers?
Well, we found out that exactly the point that was giving us the added value, being the customization, because every plant is different, it requires quite some time. And before to convince the customer, you have to run a pilot at their facility, which in effect means that you're actually all doing all that work of installing the customization already on the location of your customer during the pilot. So before they've actually bought the product. And then you can say, yeah, but then you make it a paid pilot. Well, these customers are very lean, organized. So they say, hey, where's the value for me? You first show me and then we'll start to pay. That plus the fact that if you look at the customer set, they want to have it really lean and simple. So the price point at which we could sell this into this market was not so high. So the margin that was left kind of in combination with the cost of sales beforehand kind of crashed the business case.
Okay. So does that mean that you're going to stop everything, or where are you going now with Matrix?
No, so this was not a project where we said, okay, we're starting it, and if it doesn't work, completely stop everything, right? We already had a solid basis within DSM, where we have 10 factories running this software tool, and that's where we get back to and start, and we expand from that again, right? So people are still asking us to come to their plant and install this. And during this program, we also got a lot of ideas and some connections set up that may allow us to improve the program further. So who knows, maybe in a few years, we come at a point where we say, okay, we might have to reevaluate where we are right now, and maybe we have something that is more attractive to market then. Yeah.
So you're actually going to continue developing the product, if I understand correctly. But I heard you say just before that actually DSM doesn't want to be a software company and this is a software proposition. So how does that work then?
Yeah, if you look at DSM, we like to innovate, and so this is also a part for us of a bigger program to understand more about digital business models. And I think it's also been very valuable for us to, take a peek in the kitchen of what it would take to bring a software product to the market, how we would want to set that up, and what type of partners you would like to work with. So from that perspective, it's been very valuable to us.
So it's part of a bigger picture, if I understand correctly. So is there anything that you're going to take back from the program into your other projects? Because I know you're working on quite a few other projects next to the Matrix project. Anything that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, next to the fact that, of course, the expertise knowledge, which is housed in the XL program, we really liked the fact that you're in a team for a really extended period of time, somewhat dedicated. I would prefer to improve the dedication, I think, because you rightfully said I'm also working on other things. But the fact that you're being pushed in a kind of pressure cooker for 3 months, it's something really valuable. I was discussing during one lunch, during the lunch break or during the break with a former colleague and saying, okay, if you look at DSM, they generally budget for every year. So your progress is kind of every year, and then at the end of the year you have a decision point. And this really can accelerate a decision to say, yes, we continue, or no, we don't continue. So that's valuable.
Okay, so it's also valuable to say no at some point. Okay, very cool. Tom, anything that you want to share? Any learnings that you want to share?
Oh, yeah, pitching. No, it's just one example of the things that you hardly do in your regular work in such a company. And you got an opportunity to just get a flavor of in this program. And there are a lot of those opportunities when you do this, right? So in general, I would say someone like me coming from a technical background, technical department, R&D, you're really focused usually on technical things, right? Like, okay, how can you solve a problem? What kind of solution do I make? And during these months here at Hightech XL, you really map out the whole landscape around your product. Like, who am I going to sell this to? How am I going to market this? What is the business case? So putting everything under a small loop and get that picture complete, that was really valuable to me. Yeah.
Right. Really interesting. Ruud, one last learning that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, for us, really the big thing is we are usually an ingredient-based company, so your cost of sales is generally in your production and transportation. And it was really an eye-opener for us to see that if you go into different products, that the cost of sales could become quite an important part. So that's been really an eye-opener. That every time, if you look at different business models, it's a different approach that you have to take.
Okay. I hope this was useful for you guys. I would really like to thank you for sharing your experience with everyone. And once again, thanks. Can we have a round of applause for Ruud and Tom? Thanks. Thanks. All right. Now, while they leave the stage, it's time for us to look ahead again and continue with looking at the awesome projects that are on the planning for Hightech XL. And we're all about building the community. That's why you guys are all here. And the key part for building a good community is actually the environment. So in the next video, we're really going to look at how we want to build that next year. Kick it off.
Okay, here we are, Hightech Campus. But before we go in, you just came back from China, right?
Yeah, super cool.
What was the best thing?
Best thing? Karaoke.
Hey, we're in the car. You just gave me a thought.
I need a bit of preparation, but no, it's super cool. It's very different. I think we've been doing a lot of course, business development here, and we've been doing like the big programs. But there, because innovation is still a bit behind, still starting there. What we did was actually we broke down everything that we do, and we are actually starting, smaller things like workshops, modules, and
coaching.
Exactly.
Why don't we do that here?
Well,
I'm sure people would really appreciate it.
It's just starting because we have everything. I mean, what we do in the programs is just break it down into smaller things.
Good. Good that we're talking. Okay, let's go talk to Hans.
Okay, let's go.
Hans, first question, why are we outside?
Yeah, because it's completely full inside. And so we need to sit outside because we don't have space anymore inside.
Okay, well that's clear. Hey, for the few people who don't know Hightech Plaza, can you give a quick rundown?
The Hightech Plaza is an ecosystem for startups where they can develop themselves after the accelerator program.
And how many startups do you have right now?
We have more than 15 startups here in the Hightech Plaza, and we have more than 5 already waiting, and there's a lot of questions for more.
How will your ideal Hightech Plaza 2.0 then look like?
Yes, Hightech Plaza 2 will be an ecosystem of around 5,000 square meter with startups, with corporates, with a model shop, with lab facilities where they work all together to develop the new corporates for the future.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. So I need to go talk to campus management maybe. Hey, Hilde, you got a couple of minutes? I was looking for you. Yes? Let's have a seat. Hey, I was just at the Hightech Plaza.
Seats, please.
So, yeah, we've talked about this before. We actually need the next step. Is there a next step?
Yes, I think there is, because we are creating more than 3,000 square meters of space in one of the other buildings here at the campus.
Ah, that's fantastic. And when can we go in? When will it be open?
I think it will be ready around the 1st of April 2008.
Thank you so much. That's an incredible announcement. I'm looking forward to it.
We're getting ready for the next startup pitch. It's about music, something magical. It can trigger memories, emotions to anyone across the world. She comes from Japan. Open your ears for Yayoi Sakaki about Project Ypsilon.
Relaxing, isn't it? The piece was written in early 1700s for insomnia. Music is one of a few things that crosses cultural barriers, even transcends language. It is a universal communication tool feeding directly into our brain. As a piano teacher and neural enthusiast, I've always known that we can use music to better understand how our brain functions. Over a decade ago, I've started my quest of how music affects our mind and behavior. I've assembled my team around me supporting this research. We have clinical, neurological, and musical experts on board. And what we have found and created are very interesting. It can be used to test cognitive capacity by monitoring brain, eyes, and hand activities during processing simplified music. It can draw a fast and objective cognitive assessment. Now, cognitive assessments are used for many conditions. For example, as a differential diagnostics for Parkinson's disease, ADHD, and dementia, but also for driver's license related tests for the elderly. Currently, these tests require long and complicated processes performed by trained specialists. The collected information is usually based on spoken or written inputs, which are very prone for language bias. Now, guess what? We are developing a new method using music activity to overcome these problems. Our users see the simplified music and play it on the keyboard. By monitoring them with appropriate sensors, we compile diagnostics based on objective facts. Beyond diagnostics, we are also developing a methodology using music for cognitive treatment. Our patients see the visual and audio samples, and we record their responses in the same way as the diagnostics to confirm the effect. Our research has sparked interest of many academic and medical parties. For instance, Center for Music and Medicine of Johns Hopkins Medicine. Together, we have tentative agreement for clinical trials using our treatment methodology. In addition, we have a few other partners in early stage negotiations. We have letter of intent from Hospital Santa Chiara in Italy, and also partnership agreements from hardware suppliers such as Pupil Labs eye tracking. The traction with these partners has encouraged us tremendously to pursue this opportunity. If you look at the numbers, there is a clear business case because there are so many people whom we can help by our technologies. 47 million people are suffering from dementia. 6 million kids are suffering from ADHD, and 9 million people are suffering from Parkinson's disease. That makes 62 million people worldwide. And the number is growing. Our team has necessary expertise to bring this with effective application to the market, and we need 500,000 euro for next 12 months. Besides further needed investments, we use this money for clinical trials and software development to be completed by the year 2019 in order to start the sales next year. In parallel, we continue to develop and test our music treatment to be piloted here in the Netherlands as well as in the United States. So, if you like us, if you believe that music can improve the lives of those around you, join us and let's make this happen together.
Very inspiring, Yayoi. There is still so much we can learn about music. And now let's get ready for the next part of the show, which is about another segment of our alumni. As society is getting more and more globalized, moving around quickly and efficiently is paramount. Let's see where our next innovators are headed. It's about mobility.
My name is Vincent Burg from Exerion.
My name is Steven Nelemans and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Amber.
My name is Christian Kursens, CEO of Ulu.
And we build infrastructure-free positioning systems for mobile robots.
And we are a mobility provider for companies like ABN AMRO. And we do that by providing shared cars with a guaranteed availability.
Our company provides a connected vehicle platform to the automotive aftermarket.
So right after XLday we had our first major achievement, and that's closing our seed financing with 2 Dutch investment funds and the Ministry of Economic Affairs.
So Amber is growing like crazy now. We're expanding our team and we're getting a lot of new customers in, big ones. And therefore just this Friday we have ordered 25 new cars.
In terms of achievements, we really succeeded in building a product which eventually met our vision.
Our next key achievement was building the technology, because everyone at the outset said that this wasn't possible, and we proved that it is, and we actually have it working today.
Another great achievement is generating the actual sales and customer traction we have today, and of course finally building an amazing team.
The third achievement is the customer base that we've been able to build with our system. So we currently have 15 customers in the Netherlands, but also in the US and Germany, and we're really proud of that.
So one thing I learned when I left the Hightech Excel program is that you really need to be flexible when you're building your business. You need to always be able to go faster, you need to go bigger. And also when you talk to investors, do not go for the money alone. Also choose the investor for the type of the person that he is.
Lessons learned, funding takes time and time is a commodity.
One important lesson we learned is to continuously listen to customers and get their feedback. This is the only way you build your product to fit the market perfectly.
Try to find people who look out for your interest and can help you with their different view to solve your problems.
Think big, but manage expectations.
Innovation at rocket speed. Congratulations Amber, Ulu and Exerion. With that, it's time to move on to our next pitch. We're going back to the Startup Accelerator for this one.
Color. It's all around us. When we want to provide color things, we use pigments, a simple powder that transforms the appearance of things. Pigments are a bit like rough-shaped balls that prefer to stick together, so mixing pigments with other materials is tricky. That's why we use solvents, like surfactant and anti-foaming, to help them mix. The pigment by itself is expensive, and now, by adding solvents, its use becomes polluting as well. Since the 1930s, we have been using solvents, and 160,000 tons of them end up as waste every year. We can end this. With OPI's patented unique technology, we put a nice smooth coat over the pigments. This gives the best performance when mixing, without using solvents.
Our next picture comes all the way from Mexico. She's about bringing sustainable color to your life. Please give a warm welcome to Yvonne Sanchez about OPI.
We have tested and tried our pigment with the biggest paint industry in Latin America, Comex. The results are quite impressive. We reduced in 30% the energy consumption. We saved 20% of raw material. And their final product had improved quality. The initial price of our pigment is higher than a traditional one. But at the end of the production process, we're actually saving money. Big industries out there are trying to achieve what we have done. Here is the process. It is too long, and the material that they use is really expensive. Plus, the pigment that they create has only one application, while we have several. And yes, all this means that they don't have a product in the market. We do. Going back to the applications, we don't only use pigments in paint. We put color in all kinds of materials, like plastics. 3M, a global plastic industry, create a biodegradable product. As any industry trying to improve in their creation, they tested our pigment. And for them, the results were even more impressive. We accelerate in 30% the time of biodegradation and increase it in 50% the resistance of the material to break under tension. Besides Comex and 3M, we have 3 possible customers in Mexico: Sumic, Mueller, and Agro. As we want global presence, we're looking for partnership to bring this product in EU market. To achieve this is our strategy. Have an automated plant in Q3 of next year. As well, submit the PCT form of the patent. Q4, have initial sales in Mexico. And in 2019, we will have our first client in EU market. To get to this, we need an investment of 550,000 euros for sales, R&D, and of course, to scale up. I have told you about the process improvement that we can do for our clients. And here we found also a bigger picture involved, the environment. At OPI, 2 of our team members are actually environmental engineers. And this is also relevant for industries. Every year are coming new laws and regulations governing in the protection of the environment being released. Not only we're making industries greener, avoiding the use of polluting chemicals and saving resources, we also are. Our process is solvent-free, and our only waste is steam. I'm here to tell you, if you enjoy the color in life and believe in its power, I invite you to be part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you, OPI, for bringing colour to the stage. And as Yvonne goes backstage, let's get ready for the second part about launch pads. Let's have a look at some results. Over the last 100 days, these hybrid teams, corporate and startup, have worked together on a business. It's all about partnerships. Once again, welcome to Bout de Cray.
And I'm back again. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I know that the last discussion might have gone a bit fast, so I want to deep dive a little bit on some practical cases and how they resolve the struggles that we addressed in our first Launchpad discussion. So I'm going to invite on stage a few people that have actually been through the program together and have some concrete results to share. So please welcome to the stage Maaike den Teuling, Richard Riemens from EY, and Gunther Hofmann from Hightech. Give him a warm welcome. Alright guys, so I've tried to understand what your proposition is. I'm going to try and summarize it in a few sentences. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to start here. You've co-developed a chatbot for mobility for business travelers.
That's true.
So it's actually answering frequently asked questions about stuff like visas and relocations. And your team is composed out of 3 people from EY, out of which 1 is actually at a client with whom you're doing a pilot, and 2 from the startup side, correct?
That's true.
Hey, 1. Now, 2 more to go. Richard, you've developed Cybot, so that's a white labeled solution that EY is going to put into the market. That's an analytic and predictive tool based on AI to analyze digital infrastructures both on continuity and security. Correct? Yes. Sounds very complicated. And your team is 5 people, 1 out of EY plus a sponsor, and then 4 from the startup side. Correct?
Yes.
Perfect. 2 down, 1 more to go. Let's see if I get this as well. So this is a joint proposition between you and EY, which is called UVantage, which is also based on AI and is a real-time market intelligence analysis tool.
Yeah, sounds good.
4 people in the team, 2 from EY on the operational side, 2 from your side, then 2 sponsors from EY, and 1 entrepreneur in residence on your side.
That's great.
Look at that, got it all right. Now, we've identified in the first discussion 3 key challenges. I tried to group them together. First is team and stakeholder management, so it's about people. Then the second one is about how do you differentiate it from a sale versus building a value proposition together. And then the third one is how do you align the priorities of the 2 parties involved. So how do you align the speed versus the risk appetite? Sound about right? You all look blank, so let's see if it makes sense. I want to start with the team and stakeholder alignment. Maybe Maaike, you want to tell us how you address that as a team? How did you make it work?
So I was really happy with the team I worked with, from both the UI side as well as from the startup side. We really had an incredible team. And the funny thing was that just starting at UI, I didn't have my network in place yet. But because of this project, I learned to know everyone around every country from UI. So that was really cool. And also for the stakeholder management. If you just talk to someone within UI, then you get some new names and you chat with them and have another conversation, and really a snowball effect.
All right. And how about the team member that you had sitting at the client? Did that help accelerate stuff?
Yes, we had a pilot at the client, so it really helped us to get better insights in what was happening at the client and how we could really add value to our product.
Makes sense. Do you guys have anything to add to that? What would a perfect team need, or how did you address some issues yourself?
Sure. What I found amazing was that we started out as basically two teams, right? So and we initially had that situation that we sell to EY, and then EY turns around and sells to its clients. But we overcame that almost immediately when the EY team adopted our idea as their own idea, right? And so there was basically no issue in terms of is it two teams, is it one team? It was one team early on, and what I feel was the trigger is that we addressed very openly what's in for everybody, right? Because understanding the trigger points and the motivation of everybody makes things easier, and in our case it clearly helped and propelled the team working.
Right, so clear communication. I know, Richard, you also insisted on that when we talked before, that was really important to make it work.
Yeah, what I saw is that it's really important within the teams that it becomes one team, so that it doesn't stay the startup and the corporate, but that you really feel as one team. And of course the commitment, especially from the corporate side, you really need people around you that really are willing to go for it.
All right. Gunther, you already touched a bit upon going from a sale to a value proposition, but I know that Richard had a nice anecdote, so I'm going to let him answer it first. You did a sort of a little pivot, let's say, throughout the process. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, we started with Optos, and we actually focused on networking companies. But what we saw is that within EY it was very hard to reach out to these companies as a client. So then we really focused on, okay, where can we easily get in through our clients? And eventually that became cybersecurity, because the tool was so generic. We had the possibility to change our focus to cybersecurity.
So really sort of changing your value proposition where it had most added value.
Yeah, our value proposition during the process has completely turned around.
Okay, great. And I know, Maaike, you told me that you actually defined two different value propositions depending on who you were talking to, internally and externally.
That's true. We indeed have a product which can be addressed from two sides, from the employee perspective or from the client perspective. So we define two value propositions, one to enter it from or to see it from the employee side and the other from the client side, and to better sell it that way.
Okay, cool. Gunther, anything to add to that?
Value proposition is it helps to validate with the customer early on, right? And obviously for a startup that can be a barrier. EY was extremely helpful in approaching customers quickly, validating the value proposition basically on the spot. Very helpful.
Okay. And maybe you want to align from the startup perspective. How did you sort of feel the risk appetite from the corporate next to your need for speed, so to say?
Yeah. Okay. You took notes, right?
Yeah.
So, there is a big difference between in terms of risk. Speed, right? Speed is one risk. EY moves at a very different speed. And so it would be helpful if we could overcome that. There are other we've been to other accelerators, and we've seen how they try to solve the issue. There are ways to get around compliance, security issues, and it can be handled. And in the end, what helped is that we said, but that's between the two of us. What helped is, look, what the heck? Let's not stick with compliance rules. We just go and do it, right? Just go and do it, and if anybody doesn't like it, they can still raise their hand and complain. But nobody complained.
Okay, so that secret, nobody heard that in the audience, right? Everybody stuck to compliance rules. Very good. Any other suggestions, sort of moving forward? How would you suggest that you make this process better? I know you've been, like you said, in 2 other accelerators.
Okay, well, there would be a lot of details. I'll try to
let's keep it brief,
abstract. So there's one accelerator, a very large company across Europe, and what they said from the very beginning: look, if we start involving legal or compliance, it's not going to work, right? And so what they did is they said, look, let's keep legal out, and let's keep compliance out, and we give you a lump sum. Here's a lump sum, here's a contract. The whole thing took 2 weeks, and after 4 weeks the money was on the bank account. And they said, look, basically go ahead and do it, right? And well, obviously they were looking for results, but that was their way of dealing with not getting complexity involved or keeping complexity low.
That's a quite daring move, I would say.
Daring move.
But maybe something to consider. Richard, you also mentioned something, but more from the corporate side.
Yeah, it's really from the corporate side to make the process way more fluid, and I think to make it easier to get people involved. Is at EY we almost all work with certain yearly goal plans where you can put in your goals. What would be really great is that EY Innovate would already be integrated in those goal plans. So when you want to do something extra, you can, for example, choose to go with EY Innovate to do a few events and see if it fits you.
Right, so if there's anybody from EY Innovate in the room listening, or any partner from EY, you heard it here first. So, I want to close it off with a form of what we do at Hightech Excel, which is weekly wows. We want to always celebrate, successes. So, looking back at the 3 months, what's your biggest success, Maaike?
I guess the biggest success was our teamwork. I stressed it just a minute ago, and I will do it again. We really had an amazing team to work with, so that made it all happen.
Amazing team. How about you guys? Gunther?
Well, I think we had 2 great successes. First is we got our business proposal validated by real-world customers, and we got it done fast. And the second is we set up a fantastic team in record time.
Okay, great. How about you?
Yeah, our greatest success is, of course, one is the team. It's a great team. But the most important is that we had to do a pilot or a proof of concept towards EY. And we now have arranged it that it will be a paid proof of concept for 100,000 euros. So that's a real success.
That's some concrete success indeed. And, I mean, you hear it from all these guys. Team is really key. So again, I would like to thank you all for your dedication and to share this with everyone. Keep it moving, and I hope that in a few months we will have some concrete results again to show. So give them a round of applause. Thank you guys. Thanks. Now, I promise this was the last time that I go on stage, so I will just clear the way for the 3rd announcement that we are going to do, which will be followed immediately by our 4th and final alumni update. So this one, again, but from a different angle, is going to be about education, and it's going to be about fostering future talent. Hold on to your seats. Here we go.
What's next?
Jan Willem Dekkers called me about supporting potentially new business school right here on this Hightech campus.
Okay, that's super interesting.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah, let's go talk to him. Yeah.
Hi Hey, Jan Willem, you've been around at the campus now for a couple of years. What was the first thing that you noticed when you came here?
Well, first of all, we noticed that the former owner, Philips, had done a lot of good work, and there were a couple of things that we wanted to add, or at least put more emphasis on. And the first thought that was that we wanted to strengthen the ecosystem around starting companies. Another thing was we would like to strengthen the educational part of the campus. Yeah. We have very strong relationships with the Technical University of Eindhoven, and this is going very well. It's a very strong partnership. But in the end of the day, it was also more or less a dream of us to see students present at this site and doing a study and combining tech also with business.
That is, I think, where the Maastricht School of Management comes in, right?
And that's exactly where the MSM steps in. The Maastricht School of Management reached out to us and asked us to participate in a business school with an emphasis on tech.
And you also had another idea to get us involved. Could you tell us about that?
Of course, because in the end of the day, it's all about bringing business into practice. And I think that what you do at the program with Hightech Excel is a very strong add-on for students that are participating in a tech school.
I'm meeting Wim Naudet in a moment to give us a bit more details about the how and the what. Thank you again. Here I am with Wim, the Dean of the MSM Maastricht School of Management. Wim, good that we have a chat out here. A business school here at the Hightech campus. Tell us about it.
Yes, Nick, this is such an inventive place. It's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. The creativity, the inventions taking place in Eindhoven here on the Hightech campus. 40% of that Dutch patents. I mean, how innovative can it get?
So that's how you got the idea of why not start a business school right here at this place? Because you actually have experience with this, eh? You also did this at the university in Aachen.
Yeah, exactly. Maastricht School of Management has a very long reputation. In fact, for 65 years we have been working in training people to manage companies, manage any enterprise that you need to work with people to get results. And we started out doing it with TU Delft. And we have in the last 5 or 6 years built over 5 exciting programs with RWTH Aachen, the #1 engineering university in Europe.
So let's talk about the stats. Is this an accredited MBA or not?
Yes, the MBA is accredited. It carries accreditation of the Dutch Flemish Accreditation Organization here in the Netherlands, but also international accreditations. And in fact, its AMBA accreditation makes it one of only 2% of MBAs in the world.
When are we going to start, Wim?
We're going to start in September 2018.
Now, we made, I think, a very nice teaser movie. Shall we have a look?
Let's have a look.
Business schools, the traditional Master of Business Administration degree or MBAs, have typically over the last 50 years focused too much on the financial industry. I think we need to reinvent the MBA degree.
...165 tech companies working on technologies of the future on 1 square kilometer. You get the opportunity not only to benefit from a classical MBA tuned on tech, but if you are a true innovator, you love science, you love technology, you love entrepreneurship, this is the place to be.
Queuing up our 4th and last alumni update for you. We all have it in common. We're consumers. From VR to sports tech, going through smart materials, this one is all about consumer goods. Let's see what they have in store.
Hi everyone, I'm Maarten Witteveen and I'm the CTO at Manosphere. To my right is Stefan Vandenbrink, the CCO, and to my left are Sam van der Bilt, the CXO.
My name's Andy Statham. I'm one of the co-founders of Autogear, and we produce Arion, the wearable running coach.
My name is Menke Steenbergen and I used to be a horse veterinarian. And now I have started iPos.
Hi, my name is Laurens van Graafeiland. I'm one of the founders of Sustainable.
Hi, my name is Katja and I'm one of the founders of GoTalkie. And we have invented the first rain sensors, new technology for horse riders.
Arion, the wearable running coach, is an ultra-thin, smart insole that slips inside your own running shoe and coaches you to run better.
And together we work on the Manosphere Data Glove. It's a glove that brings your hands into the virtual reality.
GoTalkie is independent, highly secure, 100% off-grid communication network system for smartphones to operate, create mesh network and connect with internet or cell network.
What we do is we have developed a revolutionary new product and process for stone surfaces that is a recyclable material.
Our biggest achievements. Making hardware is a difficult business, so to go from an idea to a prototype to actually manufacturing the product is a great achievement to have that done within 3 years.
So we are very proud to announce that the first product is ready and we're now testing it and getting ready to launch this commercial version of the rain sensors early next year.
Okay, our key achievements are that right after the Hightech XL demo day last year, we got 2 investors aboard.
We were part of the 2015 edition of Hightech XL, and since we graduated we went on to raise $700K in seed funding. We attended CES in Las Vegas and were awarded one of the best in show products by Runner's World magazine, and we've gone on to sell almost 1,000 units in the last 7 months.
We raised the investment with Iskratil, the leading European provider of info communication solution, who also became our production partner. Already we have over 3,000 subscriptions to our newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks, and with that we are able to secure 100 pre-orders already.
And then having that product being used by the leading companies in the world like NASA, all the big automotive companies, that's just a great feeling to be working with them.
GoTalkie is also part of European project called Alpdiris to provide communication in Alps.
We have some really big companies all around the world that want to introduce our product, want to buy our product, want to help us develop it better. They really like our idea, so this is really great.
We have also tested B2C market and in just 1 month we sold more than 500 pieces of GoTalkie. And besides that, we have won the Dutch Sport Innovation Award. Right in the middle of all this football technology, fitness equipment, we, with our horse sensor, were able to secure this innovation award, and we are really proud of that.
Whatever you're going to create, it's always going to take more time, it's always going to be more difficult, and it's going to be more expensive than you originally thought.
Since we founded Autogear and started developing Arion, we found it incredibly hard. There's a lot of good days, but there's also some very dark, hard days. And the important thing is you just don't give up.
One important thing is that you really have to go for it once you have an opportunity.
It's crucial to build a good team.
The members do count in team.
You have to do a lot yourself if you don't have a team. Please build a good team as fast as possible.
And also keep the fun in it.
And one thing that I learned in myself was the importance of staying close with your investors and also looking for new opportunities to gain funding and financing all the time. It's a continual process, you can't stop.
Also, an important thing is to celebrate all the successes that you have, even if they're not that apparent.
The business is only getting started once you have investor support.
Another thing that is very important is to always listen to the customer that is paying for your product, and don't be afraid to pivot your business.
The third lesson learned is that you only have a deal once everything is signed.
SVR, GoToKey, Sustainable, IPOS and Atto Gear. It's amazing to see the progress you're all making. And now it's time for our final picture of the day. Back to startups it is. Get comfortable and prepare yourselves to get really intimate, bringing the Mexican fire to the stage. Give it up for Sue Lynn Casanova about Hucken Enterprise.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me. Let's talk about sex. Come on. Let's talk about sex.
Thank you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about sex. Sex is desire, seduction, passion, an energy so strong that sometimes it's hard to identify the potential danger in it. Like HPV, the most sexually transmitted virus. Did you know that 80% of the sexually active population has been infected with it? The problem is that people carrying the virus don't even know it. Men are not currently tested or vaccinated, and the virus continues to spread. 99% of cervical cancer is caused by this virus. It's a ticking bomb. Every 2 hours, a woman dies because of this. If men knew that up to 75% of prostate cancer is also HPV related, they might want to get tested. But HPV screening is extremely painful, especially for men. And that's why we developed Chimera, a unique genetic test for simultaneous cancer propensity and HPV detection, which is important because when the cancer propensity meets a high risk factor like HPV, your chances of developing cancer increase. Chimera is completely painless, a urine test that you can use whether you're a man or a woman, and finally a tool to massively screen the male population. With this test, we can stop cancer before it happens. But enough about sex, let's talk about money. The genetic testing market is expected to grow to 10 billion by year 2025. One of our competitors recently raised 150 million to scale up their business. And still, this competitor takes 4 weeks to deliver results, and so the others. With our solution, Chimera, we take only 1 day. And none of them offer viral detection. We are the first test in the world capable of identifying both. We spent more than 30,000 hours developing this product. We are running our clinical trials and will be ready to launch the product next summer in Mexico. After that, in 2019, we'll be ready to expand to other countries. We focus on a B2B model. We offer genetic services to public hospitals, private clinics, and civil organizations. We collect the samples, process them, deliver results. In the future, we will also sell this as a medical device, not only the service. Our sales target is to perform 3,500 tests the remaining part of 2018, increasing yearly, reaching 44 million revenue in 4 years. To prepare for that and enter the private sector, we have a letter of intent of one of the biggest fertility clinics in Mexico City for 600 tests. And even better, to enter the public sector, we have a letter of intent from one of the biggest public hospitals in Mexico City for 2,900 tests. We have already raised $2.6 million in research funds, and that includes patent applications. We are ready to launch this product next year. To do that, we need 1.6 million to take it to the market. We are a multidisciplinary team of 20 people with the goal of introducing genetics to everyday's life. Precision medicine is transforming healthcare. Genetics is the key. Everything will be personalized. We truly believe that we can make real impact through prevention. Each one of us deserves an early and accurate diagnostic. So if you're interested, we have a few genetic propensity tests available for you at our booth. And if you like sex, invest in Hacken to be part of this transformation. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Well, that was certainly an exciting way to finish the show. Thank you, Sue. And as she clears the stage, let's get ready to close off the day in true Hightech XL fashion. We're really proud of what we've shown you today, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. For some closing words, please welcome back on stage, Hus Fredriks.
Okay, end of the day. Kaboom! Thank you very much. Before we go into the thank you mode and before I ask Aniek also on stage a few comments. What you have seen today is that if you accelerate in corporate projects the startup way, amazing things happen. If you accelerate, if you find and select really cool companies from all over the world, and we've seen from Australia, Mexico, etc., you bring them to Eindhoven and we open up our network, knowledge and what have you, amazing things are happening. But the true beauty comes when you try to figure out and get your head around what if we combine the best of both worlds. The agility of the young companies on the one hand and massive distribution and scaling capabilities from the bigger corporates. That is when magic is happening. I'm a big fan of diversity in age, in gender, in cultural background. And I'm so super proud to again see a lot of female innovative warriors on stage. So give a big hand for those tech women who really drive awesome innovation. Aniek, where are you? Come on stage. We need to thank a few people. Before we start thanking people, you may applaud another female tech warrior. Now what we are doing here, you have seen basically our event from a traditional demo day kind of style. You put 10 startups on stage in a pitch, transform actually in an inspirational, more tech conference format. And this is all about inspiration, this is all about boosting motivation. And if you want to really do that in a sustainable way, you need to figure out a way to inspire kids in tech. We really need to start the next generation in prepping to make an impact for the future. In the end of the day, we are building products for the next generation and those better be sustainable. Now we have a very, very cool new initiative which we started to launch. And I want two small female ladies in
Not
tech.
that small.
Lydia, they're not so small anymore. Elisa, Lydia, where are you? Come here, come on stage. Big hand. Now, a lot of kids want to become a vlogger these days. So if we can find a way to vlog with kids about meaningful impact technologies which can have a positive impact, something cool is gonna happen, right? So Elisa, why are you doing this? Tell us the story.
Because when I was 10, I usually watch a lot of YouTube videos and I said to myself, I also can do this. So I saved money and I bought a camera. So I started vlogging, but it was not so easy. So then my mom said, you can go to Hightech XL and the film crew can give you tips about vlogging. So I went there and I met Guus and you asked me if I wanted to be the kid vlogger of Hightech XL. So I said yes, and together with the film crew I created vlogs, but I couldn't do this on my own, so I invited my friend Lydia.
So why are you doing this, Lydia?
I'm doing this because Elisa invited me, and I was interested, and yeah.
So, what do you really want to vlog about, girls?
Technology and what is developing right now.
Yeah.
And what do your classmates, friends say about this? Do they follow you? Do they see your vlogs?
Yeah, some do, and they really like it. So.
Okay, so what's up next year?
Yeah, because to become a famous vlogger and talk about some serious stuff, not the Dylan Hagens blah blah blah. What's your target? You need
You sound
followers,
really old
right?
now, if you say that.
Huh?
You sound really old now, eh?
Yeah, I am old. Come on, let's face it.
Well, we would like to start vlogging more often and invite more people in our vlogs.
So how often are we going to see you next year? Vlogging?
1 time a week.
Good. It sounds more convincing than last.
Yeah, give him a big hand.
Very good. Hey, and it's all about followers, you told me. Viewers, actually, you told me. So, a number on viewers? Do we dare to say that?
1,000.
1,000. Good. So, if everyone here starts watching, we're there, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Now, but also, if you have kids and you want to inspire them for technology innovation, then bring them onto the platform. Everything is there, and let's make some positive impact. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. Blijf maar staan. It's fine to stand. Good. Our partners. Thank you to our partners. We have the Eindhoven Startup Alliance, and we're very thankful that these guys support us. Actually, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but bi-weekly we have meetings with these guys to talk about daily business, to talk about fun stuff, but also talk about the future and how also we can stay ahead of the game. Of course, they also support by mentors, they support our startups, and now and then they give us some moral support. Sometimes we get a bit tired as well. So please, warm applause for our partners. And this is something that we do every XLday. We pick one partner who gets the Partner of the Year award. Because every year there's a partner who does something special. And the partner who gets it this year is not only always there in the bi-weekly meetings, is not always also supporting us, but he's for sure has helped a great deal in getting this connection to really research teams and getting this connection to the TUE I told you about. So a warm applause for Rob van der Werf from ASML. Rob, please come over. I was almost afraid you left, but of course you didn't.
This is the limited edition, Rob, especially for you.
Color, thanks.
Great. Thank you very much. Stay on stage.
Thank you very much.
This program is driven by the community, and we call those mentors, aka industry experts, and they come from the bigger corporates, from our partners, but they're also ex-entrepreneurs, investors, and this is the secret sauce basically of our formula. And also here, we like to thank all our mentors. They're doing an amazing job, but there is one person in every cohort, and this has actually been picked by the participating teams, who gave the extra mile. And this is Joke Koek. Where are you, Joke? I hope you're around. Joke!
Joke!
Well, this is live streamed, so Joke, if you are seeing this later on, this is the proof. You can record. There's also a limited edition for you. Okay, we move on.
Yeah, we move to the final, almost.
The guys in the back did an amazing job. There were some technical hiccups here and there, but not disturbing. They do a wonderful job. There's a lot of stress happening and work behind the scenes, many weeks already. So, but you, like always, top job, man. Thank you, and crew.
Good, and now last but not least, of course, the team. We always have one sentence. Teamwork is what makes the dream work. And I think we showed you again today that we couldn't have done this without an awesome team. So teams, please come on stage. Everyone from the program team.
Yeah. Come on, hurry up. I think everybody's thirsty.
Yes.
Top. Talking about diversity. 15 different cultures, 50% guys-girls ratio, and a lot of diversity in age. And this is not the full team. Not everybody could be around. Give them a big hand of applause. I'm so proud of you guys. Yeah, and then we have a tradition. We always do this crazy picture at the end of each event, right? So we do it one more time. Katsi, are you ready? Yeah, you know. You say, wait, this is tradition. We always do this, okay? 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I hope you had a wonderful afternoon. Let's enjoy together a few drinks. Thank you.